Project 613, day 163. As we learned yesterday, in addition to animal sacrifices, birds, there is such a thing as a meal offering called a mincha sacrifice. This meal offering is flour with oil and frankincense, and there are different ways how the meal offering could be brought to the temple. Sometimes it's just plain flour mixed with the oil. Sometimes these are baked or fried in certain ways. Be it as it may, however the mincha, however the meal offering is prepared, the fact of the matter is that typically, if it does not belong to a kohen, if it is the mincha, the meal offering of any other Jew, only a kmitza, only a very small amount is brought onto the altar, and the rest is eaten by the kohanim. So there is a positive commandment, a mitzvah, for the kohanim to eat the leftovers of the mincha, of the meal offering. Now, some of the meal offerings are raw flour. What are you supposed to do with it? They have to take that flour and bake it. There is a negative commandment, a prohibition from baking this flour from the mincha as chametz. It cannot become leaven. It must remain matzah. So these are two mitzvahs, the positive commandment to eat the rest of the mincha, and the negative commandment that one is not allowed to bake that flour as leaven. Now, when it comes to bringing sacrifices, there are some sacrifices that are obligations. For example, if someone sinned, and the Torah says in order to achieve atonement, one is obligated to bring a sacrifice, so he doesn't have a choice. But other sacrifices a person is able to make the obligation, to make a pledge. I pledge to bring a sacrifice. So if a person pledges to bring a sacrifice, or they have an obligation to bring a sacrifice, the obligation, there's a mitzvah to bring the sacrifice as fast as possible. In fact, they don't have to go to Jerusalem immediately and go and bring the sacrifice. They could wait till the first major holiday. There are three major holidays in Judaism: Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. And on all three, it was a time for a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, to the Holy Temple, and one was obligated to bring their sacrifices on the first opportunity possible. That's the positive commandment. Fulfill your sacrificial obligations. You made a pledge, or you're obligated to bring a sacrifice, do it right away. There's a negative commandment. There is a prohibition of pushing it off. When is considered procrastination? If three major festivals have passed and you have not yet brought your sacrificial obligations, that is a violation of a mitzvah, of a negative commandment. So if a person became obligated in bringing a sacrifice around Purim time, so the best time to bring that sacrifice is Passover, Pesach, which is a month later. If you didn't bring it then, bring it Shavuot. If not, then bring it to Sukkot. But if Sukkot passed, every single day that one does not bring their sacrificial obligation, that is a violation of the negative commandment not to procrastinate, not to push off of bringing your sacrifices to the Holy Temple. Thank you all for watching. More tomorrow.